Hi guys, this is the second video from my collection of videos from the first semester. Today I would want to talk to you about one of my favorite projects and very sentimental for me and very nice from the design perspective of view. So I told you a little bit about our system in a previous video. You heard about subject design 1 and presentation techniques. So I lied to you a little bit. In the previous video we were mostly working on a concept in design 1, and in presentation techniques we worked on the graphics. Here we mostly worked on design 1, so once again design 1. And this project was very interesting, but also very hard for me, because we needed to make a lantern, and the lantern needed to be for some kind of an occasion. And that was an end of November, and all of the news, all of my friends were reposting and commemorating the Holodomor. Holodomor is a famine that was made in Ukraine by Soviet government. I will tell you a little bit more about it, but it's a huge tragedy for Ukrainians, and November is a harsh month by itself, but with this anniversary I was so full of emotions, so I decided to make the lantern to commemorate the Holodomor. So you can imagine how intense this project was for me. But I really love it. Anyways, even though I extended this morning time for myself this year, I still think that it is very touching and it is very beautiful, and it's important to be able to talk about hard stuff anyways. So the general task was called the shape or the form, and yes, the idea was of course to make a lantern out of a very specific materials, make it stand, make the tea light candle burn inside, and also the rule was to make one lantern that will be used inside and one that will be used outside, and it stylistically needed to be from the same family. So that was a quite complex task, and very interesting, of course. We could use normal paper like you use in a printing machine. Then we could have used the paper that is thick, like a carton more or less, and the tissue paper, very transparent and very light. So the task started, of course it all starts with the raw sketches on the paper, concept, everything needs to be accepted first. So that was done at the first round. Of course I was looking a lot at the I was trying to find the inspiration for all that, and I decided to look what people already do for the commemoration of Holodomor, and I found that people are bringing the kind of like bouquets of wheat, because the whole tragedy of this famine was because it was human made. So there was not like it's a lack of food, it was not like some natural disaster. No, it all was made by Soviet government to suffocate the Ukrainian nation and the strength of Ukraine, because Ukraine was very strong and independent, and it still of course is, and that was very unfortunate for Soviet regime to have a nation that is full of food, that is independent, that is rich. So that was a way of destroying the moral and destroying in general the nation. The estimated death is 6 million people. So that's unmeasurable tragedy, of course. And the very ugly part of it is that all this food that was taken from Ukraine, it was just being thrown away. It was not like, okay, we will take from those people and we will feed someone else. No, it was just to kill people. And that, of course, is still very, very important to remember that, rotten Russian Empire was trying to destroy Ukraine very long before the full-scale invasion started now. And I'm sitting in this entire context, and I need to do the job still. So from one side, the project that really touch you are important, but from another side, it might be very hard sometimes to make it finish. But to come back to the process. So first sketches, I found that people are bringing the wheat bouquets for the commemoration. There is a testament in many cities, so people are coming. Sometimes there are people are there is a kind of a march commemorating, because I remember it from when I was in school. We took some candles, some lanterns, and we went in the ugly rainy November days to commemorate the events. And I thought, yes, this is a beautiful way of thinking about it. So first lantern will be to bring and put on a special place in your city, and another lantern will be just for personal reflection, because of course there are very many people in Ukraine now are actually abroad, and in very many countries there is a place to be, but still it's also very personal for everyone. So I decided this would be a nice idea to make people a little bit of space as well at home, because mostly it was somewhere public. And the process has started. I was very much inspired by these bouquets, by that shape, but of course I needed to make, first I started to make it very, very like childish, and I was trying to be very, very like direct. The wheat means kind of grass, flower, and all that. And I'm very glad my professor kind of directed me a little bit away from this. And I started thinking more with the shape, with the entire construction, than with the detail. And I was working a lot on this one that needed to be outside, because I thought that's a little bit more complicated from the constructional perspective, because it needs to be taken, brought, it needs to be in hand, then on earth. So I was working a lot on this first concept, and my mind was totally blank on a second one. And I was when I was more or less in the middle of this outside one, I was like, I need to do something. And I wanted to emphasize this idea of home. I want this one to be resembling with the idea of home for those who are abroad to have this moment, and for those who are in Ukraine to strengthen the belief that Ukrainians deserve to have a prosperity, peace, and home. Beautiful idea, but once again, how should I make it? First, I was like, okay, let's just make a base and a roof, and this will be the idea of home. And I know. Once again, my professor kind of directed me away from this idea, and once again, I'm very glad it happened, because it wasn't easy, but I made through this. So I decided that if we are already so tightened to the concept of a field, of the wheat, of nature, let's do this, because for Ukrainians, field in general is very, very resembling a lot with the home, because most of Ukraine is fields, and I personally grew up being surrounded by fields with many different cultures, and that was something nice in it, the feeling of the wind in the field, and this is very peaceful. So I started to go into this idea of a wave, like when the wind makes kind of a wave with the grass, with the wheat, and I wanted to catch this moment. I wanted to make this idea in this second one that needs to be standing at home, and that is of course very beautiful. But how should I do this? But how do I make this happen? And the entire constructing part took me very long time. There was a winter break, and I was sitting through entire winter break trying to make it happen. I've done maybe 20 of each. That was a very as well hard physical work, because you needed to cut through this curtain, and when I wanted to cut my food next day, I really was having sore muscles from this movement, and this tissue paper wouldn't sit, and all of this, and of course a big pressure from the end of the semester, from the harsh topic that I chose, from winter, from all of that. But this project is very, very special for me, because this is the very first design project, let's say. It's very first project that came out from the idea to the functioning object. So of course I'm showing it to you now. This is the pictures that we also were making at. So now we are coming to presentation techniques, another subject. We needed to make the poster, and with a little description and picture of it. But very exciting part was to see it in light, to see it actually work, and I'm really proud of it, because once again the topic was extremely hard, and I believe that it might be for a good cause now. I think I wanna write to the Holodomor Museum in Kiev, and because this project is very much doable for people by themselves, and that I also had in mind a little bit, that the process of making is very important part of the commemoration. So if not only this design might give not only the opportunity to bring something beautiful like this modern shape to the commemoration place, but also to have a moment to sit and make it by yourself. It might also have a very therapeutic effect. Another interesting thought that I had during making the outside lantern, because at the first time I was very, very, very sure in my shape, which was much more angular. It was very geometrical, and I loved it so much. And at the couple of last lectures, I'm coming to my professors. I'm like, I'm done. Here it is. I'm so proud. And they were like, oh no, that can't be this way. And I was like, no, but we have agreed on that before, and all of that. And I was remaking it at the very last moment. But I'm very proud of how it came. But the idea behind this angular one was as well I was like, the times are like, it's 1930s, right? The entire Europe is full of Art Deco. The entire Europe is in prosperity, in modern styles, in all those parties like Great Gatsby and all of that. And I want to bring it back. I want to make it happen for Ukraine via this little project. And my professor said, no, it doesn't seem to be right. You know, we are talking about famine, about death, about tragedy, about genocide. It's not right. Let's remake it. And I did it, of course. I remade it, and now looking back at it, of course, I think that this version is much better. And once again, it was very cool it is very cool now. It was very hard to work on it, but it's very cool now to look at this thing and to be proud of myself, you know, even to know that I can handle a pressure, I can handle a harsh topic, and I can handle a new unknown material, which is very inspiring. Thank you guys for being with me, for supporting me. So enjoy this project with me.